Okay, so today I'm going to talk about fascia, studying fascia, and how it relates to your yoga practice. So the more I study, the more I feel like there's two different directions we can go in with anatomy. We can go in the parts and pieces direction, which is like the muscle origin and insertion and joint rotation and activation. This is key. I still use it a lot. I think you need to have a certain amount of that understanding in order to kind of guide the movement and understand these fabulous parts and pieces that we have. But looking at the fascia, it just doesn't, it's not as helpful in a movement practice to be so atomized with your fascia, because the fascia only makes sense in an integrated whole. So last year I got to spend 40 contact hours actually dissecting fascia and connective tissue, and one thing it really brought home to me was the fact that, you know, as we were going through the layers, we were destroying what we were trying to understand. Like, it only makes sense when it's in an organized whole. You know, if you pick apart a spider web, it's no longer a cohesive shape. And that was part of the point of that training, and it was fabulous because it really brought home to me that if we were to think about fascia, worry less about the deep front line and the superficial back line, worry less about these stories and these ideas and these constructs that right now we're putting on fascia, because those are all metaphors and there still isn't scientific consensus on how to describe the fascia and what's superficial fascia, what's deep fascia. Like, there's a desire to atomize it, and it's a global structure. It only makes sense as an integrated whole. So why this is interesting to your yoga practice is because we have an atomized, we have a parts and pieces way of looking at it. It's the traditional musculoskeletal alignment stuff, and it's really handy. Well, if we're going to start looking more globally and using fascia, it's just a different way of making sense of anatomy, and I think inherently the languaging around it is going to have to be a little bit softer and a little more descriptive, and it needs to give the practitioner more space to break alignment. Yeah, because if we are thinking about activating a certain muscle or creating a certain rotation, if we're looking at stretching a certain line of fascia, everyone's put together different genetically, and has different injuries, and has, you know, different sensations, different holding patterns, different places they carry tension. So they're going to need to create a quirky little shape in a different way than anyone else in order to get that stretch in the connective tissue. And the fascia, the connective tissue, is everywhere in between. It's the stuff in between the origins and insertions. It's all the organizing stuff in the adipose tissue that connects the organs together, that makes really surprising links between one muscle and another. We might not realize that two very different muscles suddenly have direct communication with each other when we look at this webbing. So it'll throw all kinds of surprises at us in my own body and in watching students' bodies. And it's really giving me the confidence to let my own practice get weird and let students' practices get weird. And so I guess where I am right now in my teaching is this oscillating between, we can say, like left brain and right brain. So the left brain moment will be very parts and pieces and creating these static muscular intentions, and then going into the totally intuitive, free, do whatever you want kind of stuff. And then I think we have the best of both. You've got the right hand and the left hand. You have analytical and the experiential. You have the musculoskeletal, and you have the sensitive, global reorganization of the connective tissues. So play with all of it, have fun, and we'll use that to inform our practice.